everybody, it's Abigail with PinkStoneThreads, and I'm coming to you today with a bit of a crazy idea. So this weekend I am going to attempt to create as many projects as possible from one crochet book. This is Roscoe. He is wanting to say hello to all of you. But I'm going to be trying to crochet as many projects as possible from a crochet book. So the book I'm trying is Crochet One Skein Wonders by Judith, Durant, and Edie, Eckman. It contains 101 crochet projects from a variety of contributors, and they range from very thin yarn to very thick yarn, and there's all sorts of projects in there: hats, baby items, all sorts of fun stuff, and a lot of different things that I would personally want to make. So the reason I'm kind of wanting to do this, and we'll see how far I get. My real goal, a more realistic goal, is making 8 of the projects. But we'll see if we make that happen, and if we do, we'll keep making them until the day is over. But the reason that I'm wanting to do this is recently I've been working on a lot of wedding knitting. I'm actually knitting my own wedding dress, which is very exciting, but it is very detailed. You can't have coffee, buddy. Get your butt out of here. It's very detailed knitting work, a lot of lace work, and it's just very high stakes. And so I feel like in my creating, I just need some space to create really easy, fun things and have that productivity of making and finishing a lot of projects. I haven't been crocheting very often recently, and that is what I find to be easier and faster than knitting. Although I did learn how to knit first, I just find that crochet, it's a nice place for my mind to go to rest. Roscoe. So I really enjoy crocheting. I tend to crochet easier projects, and the ones that I've highlighted from my book are on the easier end within the book of the projects that are offered. So I went ahead, and because I have the ebook version, I went ahead and printed off 8 different patterns in a variety. Hopefully I can get through the 8 and keep just printing off as I go along in the day tomorrow. I will say tomorrow I do have somewhat of a limit on my time. The only thing that I have going on tomorrow is I have an engagement photo shoot. So we've had engagement photos done already, but we're going for a more fun 1960s theme tomorrow. So you may see me sporting some hot rollers, that's the word. Hot rollers, strange makeup, strange get up all together. But I'm gonna try my best to put as much of the time tomorrow into this crochet project, and we're gonna see what happens. So this book was printed in 2013, and I have the ebook version, but I think that a lot of these projects are actually very, very much still relevant. I mean, the book's only 9 years old, but there's a lot of really cute things that I want to make. I'll pop some pictures up here, but some of my goals for tomorrow are to make Pat's Jamaican bonnet. So that is kind of like a kerchief style hair wrap, which is very cute. And there's a Tunisian crochet pouch. I've never done Tunisian crochet before, but it does look like it would be a good beginner project because you're only doing Tunisian crochet in long strips, and then you're kind of sewing a pouch together out of that. So we're gonna try Tunisian tomorrow for the first time. There's a very interesting weave boutique. It's called the Boutique Weave Scarf. Just the patterning of it looks very, very interesting. Definitely not your regular scarf. I'm also gonna be trying a water bottle holder. Which is always useful What else? I mean, there were 101 projects that all looked very interesting to me. Yes, I'm also gonna try crocheting socks for the first time. So I've knit socks in the past, but I have never actually crocheted socks. And this pattern is for a like preteen adolescent girl. It's called Blue Sky Dreamin'. It's a pair of sister socks, so there's like a little girl and an older, two sizes basically. I think my foot, I wear like a size 6 to 7. I think my foot would fit into the the preteen adolescent Roscoe. I think my foot would fit into the preteen to adolescent size range, but if not, I'll just add a few extra rows on the foot itself and kind of make some adjustments there. But I really did want to try some crochet socks for the first time. I've been meaning to do that for a really long time. Then I'm going to be making a couple bags. One has beads on it, and I've never added beadwork to crochet before. So lots of new things tomorrow. A cute little hat is also part of it, and another bag. But again, if I'm able to create more, I definitely will. But some goals that I have for myself with this is that I can stop mid-project, but only to work on up to one other project. So I can only have 2 projects going at a time, and I can't stop in the finishing stages. So that means I can't stop right at the part where I need to seam or weave in ends or anything like that, because I am notorious for stopping projects right before they're actually finished. So I want to make sure all of these projects are fully finished by the end of the day. Maybe there will be one project that will be partway through. We will see. But those are some goals and some rules that I have for myself. So I am now going to go pick out some yarns that I think might work for some of these initial project ideas. And then we will see what happens tomorrow. But
okay, so here is what I've pulled so far. I didn't really have the exact yarns required in the patterns, but I have beads. There's beads in one of the patterns. And then this I'm thinking about for a bag. This is the color that is most similar to what is actually shown in the picture, but I think I might prefer either this color or this color. I might wear it more that way. Then there's a bulky weight hat, which I don't have any bulky really. So I have some scraps here, and I was thinking that I could hold it with this kind of ribbon yarn. It's kind of a crazy looking pattern, like the yarn they used is very variegated. So I'm thinking about, yeah, holding it double with some of these scraps, but that might make, I mean, this is bulky, so that might make it too bulky, but maybe I'll hold it with this one. I'm not sure. And then we have some sock yarn. This one is from Vicky Howell box. It's Chicken Coop Dye Works. And so that's a cool color. Then this one is Fangirl Fibers. It's a DK weight. There was a sock pattern in there that required, I believe, sport weight. So I'm hoping DK and sport will be interchangeable for that. This is a medium weight, but again, the pattern just required a bulky. So I might hold it double or just see how my gauge works out with that. But yeah, these are my selections so far. I don't know if that made it any easier for me, but at least I kind of know where I'm gonna start tomorrow. I am starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed. But yeah, these are some yarns that I've had in my stash for a while. These 2 are newer, but the rest of them I've had in my stash for a while. This and these 3 are and I'm sure all of these are acrylic. And I've been trying to kind of get rid of my acrylic stash because I have a ton of it. Not get rid of it, but just use it up because that's not what I really like to work with anymore. So yeah, feeling some trepidation about tomorrow.
Hey everybody, so it's about 6 p.m. I look absolutely crazy. We had a engagement slash wedding photo shoot at 4, but we ended up getting rained out and completely drenched, so my hair is just, it's, you know, but hopefully we got a few photos before then that are nice. But yes, I am only about 1.5 projects through and it's 6 p.m. But in all fairness, I did wake up at like 11 a.m., which is normal since I work second shift. And so I still would say this is about midday for me. So we still have time and hopefully I can catch up. I did get the kerchief pretty much done. I just need to do the finishing touches on it, which I know that was one of my rules, not to stop right before the finishing touches. Definitely forgot that until now. So I'll get that finished up. I ended up changing a little bit about the pattern, which I'll kind of explain later, just in this outer border, and a few other things, of course. But yes, now I'm working on the water bottle holder. And hopefully we can really get it rocking and rolling. We'll see. So I'm on the water bottle holder and it's going really well. This is going probably the quickest so far, but I just realized I made a mistake. It's supposed to be 2 rows. I think I made a few mistakes or no. Okay, so yeah, this is the bottom edge. It's supposed to be 2 rows of the double crochet. So I did 2 rows here and then the little like granny clusters in between. But I need to rip back. I only did the 1 row, which normally I wouldn't mind, but since I'm trying to follow the patterns today, I'm gonna go ahead and rip it back. So, but it's going really quickly, so it's only like maybe 15 minutes of work, if that. I don't know. So now that I have finished my water bottle holder, I have started on the next pattern, which is Blue Sky Dreamin'. It is socks, crochet socks, designed by Robin Dykema. Hope I'm saying that right. But yes, I've actually gotten started on them and don't look like much right now, but funnily enough, pretty fun. I've never done foundation single crochet before. I've tried it before using tutorial videos and it just for some reason it never clicked with me. I don't think I was being patient enough with myself or the videos. But yeah, I just looked up another tutorial video on how to do it. This one I watched was by Fiberflux. It's just their foundation single crochet tutorial video from Fiberflux, and it actually I think is going really well. I think I did it right. I mean, it looks right. It looked like how it did on the video, and so I did that foundation. I think that will be the opening of the sock then, and have started on my heel. So these are going really well. So I'm excited that I learned something new. I think something really nice about working through these patterns in this way is that I have to pick up new skills I have to kind of problem solve a lot more. Whereas, you know, when I just freeform crochet, design things myself, I just use my pre-existing skills or lack thereof and work around the things that I don't know. But this is really nice. It is really nice to challenge myself to learn new things. And yeah, that's one thing that I am really excited about this. Hopefully I have more time to learn more things later, but so far so good. So project 3 at 8 p.m. Little update. So it's midnight. I finished 1 crochet sock. So this is my 3rd project. 1 crochet sock. So I'm going to consider this a fully complete item. And so I'm actually going to switch to a different project. It went really well. I actually really like the way that this looks and fits. I will say I noticed that I accidentally decreased a lot. There is a shell stitch patterning. I'll try to get it. So there's a shell stitch patterning, and right around where my index finger is, I accidentally decreased a whole lot. So they look pretty funny off of my foot, but they do fit pretty well on my foot. As you can see, the toe box is very tiny from how much I accidentally decreased, but they do actually fit pretty well. And because this is an actual wool sock, I think I could block it, and then I'll just try do better on the second one. But, you know, it's a learning experience, and so yeah, my first ever crochet sock. All right, so now it's 2 a.m., which is a pretty normal hour for me again. But I'm on to my 4th project, which is the hand-painted shoulder bag. And I'm at the point where, so I'm holding a fingering double for this, and it's just it's got a nice spike stitch on there, but I'm running pretty low. And the way this bag is constructed is it tapers off to an end, and then you fold it in half, and you have that lid. Why do I want to say lid? Kind of like a flap closure on it, and then the straps, obviously. So this is not going to cut it for the rest of it, which I do really love this yarn. So I've been brainstorming, and I think, so I've been holding this double. I think I'll start holding it single, holding the pink as one strand, and then adding in the green at this point. So there is some green, and you can't see it very well. I'm trying to get it to focus a bit more. Yeah, you can't see it super well. Oh, maybe it's starting to come through a little bit. But yes, there's speckles of green in here, and I think the pink complements nicely with the green. So my goal is to hopefully be able to use both together up until the purse flap, and then I'll just use exclusively the green for the straps. And I think it'll work out nicely, especially if I get a button that complements the two colors really well. So that is my plan. I think probably this will be my last project of the day, but I'm holding out hope, so we will see. All right, so it's about almost 4 a.m. and I'm gonna call it quits, but here's where I got with the hand-painted shoulder bag. So I think I'm about one spike stitch set away from being done with the base, and basically this long piece folds over in on itself, and then there's, I think what I'm gonna do color wise, because I had to switch all the way to just complete green, is that I am actually going to crochet the flap from this side so that it kind of turns into a green fade, because it looks kind of cool that way. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. This side is just pink, but it's really pretty as well. And I do like the way that the green ended up turning out. But again, yeah, just can't finish it tonight, but that makes 3.5. Well, I would say it's 3.5 projects done today. It's the next day, and I have finished some additional projects this morning. I ended up finishing that bag from last night, and I tried my hand at another project, but I ended up going in a completely different direction with that. But I'm here to show you guys the finished objects, to kind of describe what I changed or altered about the patterns or what I found difficult. So I'll go ahead and start with Pat's Jamaican Bonnet. I do really like this. I think it's a look. I do think I made it a bit too long, and so this particular one might be better for someone with a bit more voluminous or textured hair, because mine like meets completely at the corners in the back, which I don't think is exactly how it's supposed to fit. But I'll go ahead and take it off to show you guys that that's where I had it tied. So I think if I were to do this again, I would stop the pattern or stop the cast on row right after the end of my ears, rather than where it meets right now at the back of my neck. Let me get that fixed a little bit here. For the border, I ended up doing something a bit different. I just kind of lost patience with the pattern. Not that it was a bad pattern, I just can't. Sometimes I'm in the mood to follow the pattern and sometimes I'm not. So I ended up just doing kind of like a, I don't even know what you would call this, a spike, a little dinosaur spine, I'm not sure. But I ended up just doing like a single crochet, half double crochet in one stitch, and then in the next stitch, a double crochet, and then a treble crochet, and then a picot. So just chaining 2 before I went into my next stitch, which was a treble crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, and then what is the word? Mornings are rough for me. Slip stitch. So that's how I did the edging there. I do like it, but again, I do think this particular size, I don't know if I got the wrong gauge or if it was the yarn that I used, but mine I think turned out bigger than was intended. And I also think this size is just meant for someone with a bit more voluminous hair to begin with, which I do not have. I have very flat, straight hair. So I think yes, next time I would maybe only crochet up to here, and then well, I guess since I started at the corner here, I could have just crocheted until I came up with a length that I was comfortable with. That does kind of change the overall length of the kerchief, so I might have to do some more adjusting. But yeah, pretty good start. I think I still will wear it, It'll just, maybe I'll have to make some small alterations or something to make it fit my head a little bit better. Then I made the, I believe they call it the green water bottle holder. Mine is not green, mine is purple. But I made that, and the big alteration I made on this was, instead of doing a continuous handle, I decided to actually crochet the strap in as two separate pieces so that it comes apart like this. And so kind of depending on what you're needing, you can tie it at different lengths, or you could tie it onto a backpack. Lots more options with this kind of thing. And I've found just in general that crochet straps are, even when it's done along the side, it is still a bit stretchy and a bit stretchier than I want, especially considering that this is gonna have a lot of stretch. So that's why I kind of made that something that you can alter as you wear it. I will say the one thing I really did not like about this pattern was that it did not do continuous rounds. Instead, it had you stop and chain. So you can see this line of my chaining to bring it up to the next row. I'm not a big fan of that look, and I think that they could have done a continuous crochet, but I think this pattern was kind of meant for more beginners, although I don't think that's a terribly hard technique to master. So it ends up where this side looks really great, and this side looks kind of sloppy, in my opinion. So I think the way that I would, or maybe, is it less visible if I turn it inside out? Now I'm rethinking everything. Maybe I was too mean to begin with. It is still slightly visible on the inside out. Yeah, I can still tell where it is, but that does look kind of better. So maybe I'll do that. And then I think that, oh, forgot an end. Oh no. But I think I will also maybe add like a granny square pocket on the outside to kind of detract from where I carried up the rows. So there's some options there, but I am glad that I have this. I think it's really cute and will be very useful once I get this end tied up, and maybe add a pocket to it as well. All right, then we got into some of the more challenging projects, in my opinion. Maybe this is the only challenging project that I had, or that I was able to get to, but I made a crochet sock. So this was Blue Sky Dreamin'. These were originally meant for children, but I have very small feet, so I think they do fit. I will say I messed up. This has a shell stitch patterning, as I've mentioned before. I did too many decreases. Hopefully I can get a better view of it this time, but this is the absolute top. So as you can see, I decreased on accident quite a few times right there, which leads to kind of a rather bizarre shape for the bottom of the foot. So this is the bottom of the foot. Everything looks normal up to about here, and then it's very narrow and boxy. So because I had accidentally decreased so much, then I wasn't able to really do the toe decreases, so I just left a toe box, and I just crocheted the end together, which is not according to pattern. So once I do get the chance to do the second sock, hopefully, I think there's some things I'll try to make sure that I don't accidentally decrease too much. And then if that sock turns out better, I might like cut from this point and recrochet the end. Because I am satisfied with the beginning of the sock. Looks great, fits great. It's just this end towards the toe where I was probably getting way too tired and accidentally decreased a lot. So I will keep you guys updated on how these socks go. I was surprised that, yeah, crocheting socks was easier than I had initially thought. It does take more time than, I usually feel like crochet takes, but it could just be like the size of the yarn and the fact that I hadn't done it before. So this took a lot longer than I had anticipated. So I was able to start this bag last night, but I ended up finishing it this morning. So I believe this one's called the hand-painted yarn or hand-painted bag. I am not quite sure. I'll pop the name down here, but I am really happy with how this turned out. So I started with this pink yarn from Chicken Coop Dye Works. It's just got a regular spike stitch going up. The actual bag itself is just one long rectangle folded in on itself. And then once I started running out of Chicken Coop Dye Works, you can see the regular pink kind of fades into this green, which I'm not sure where the green came from. It was just a scrap I had. So I held them together until the point where I completely ran out of the Chicken Coop Dye Works and just did green at the top. So it doesn't look quite as much as a fade on the camera as it does in person, but I am really satisfied with the overall look. Then I added the crochet lid flap. I don't know what to call it. And this one's just in green. I did change the pattern on this part. Originally they have you decrease from the rectangle into that point, but I actually found it much easier and it looked overall better because I had tried this multiple attempts. I'm apparently really bad at crochet decreases, but really good at crochet increases. I don't know if anyone else experiences the same thing, but instead I just ended up creating a separate panel, crocheting from this point out to the corners, and then sewing that together. And then for the button loop, I just ended up chaining and crocheting a loop. Then I folded it in on itself, and then I crocheted around it. So it's got a nice thick button loop, one that's not going to tear apart pretty easily, which is an issue that I've had previously on crochet bags. Then I just added a cute little, I don't know what you call this button exactly. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you know what this is called. But overall, I think it's a really cute bag. Oh, and I almost forgot. I also did the handle differently than the pattern indicates. I actually ended up knitting 3 I-cords and braiding them together to create the handle. Again, I've just not had luck with crochet handles in the past. I've found that they're way too stretchy. And so this does have some stretch, but it is pretty sturdy. So I can wear it crossbody, or I can wear it along my shoulder, and when I have stuff in it, it'll weigh it down more to the point where it will be at a good length for me. But I think this is overall my favorite finished object. And unsurprisingly, it's the one I changed the pattern the most on. That's just the way that I am. So that turned out really well. And then this morning I was experimenting with some of the remaining projects and some of the rest of the yarn that I had. And I ended up coming up with this little monster. So I started doing the Queen Bee hat, which I'll pop up a picture here. I started doing the Queen Bee hat, and I actually did the top of the hat according to pattern. And then I found that the yarn that I was using just wasn't going to work out well, wasn't going to show the stitch patterning that's kind of the feature of that hat. So the yarn I ended up using, I held I believe Aran weight or bulky weight pink wool with this very multicolored rainbow ribbon yarn. And it kind of comes out with like this terry cloth feel, which I like. So I did the crown of the hat according to pattern, and then from there I just kind of worked and then reworked to make it into a bucket hat, or kind of a bucket hat. It's it's just kind of a silly hat, and I love it. It's giving me in between like the early 2000s terry cloth hats. I think I had one that I wore at the pool. It's like a beachy, it was a beachy look made out of like the towel material. And yeah, like the 90s kind of bucket hat, or the fuzzy bucket hat. I believe Snoop Dogg used to wear something similar. So I am a big fan of this hat. I actually wore it to work today. So that it was just kind of fun, and it helped me not take myself too seriously at work. So I am really happy with how it turned out. It is very warm, maybe not the best summer wear. So as I get into autumn, I think that it will get some more wear, but yes, everyone needs a crazy crochet hat in their crochet wardrobe. I'm a firm believer of that. So I'll give you guys a little bit of a closer look on the craziness. But yeah, I just ended up doing increases until I got to a good width. And then I crocheted the hem of the hat and I have it folded over to give it some more structure. But that's basically what I did. I just worked it and then reworked it until I found something that worked well for me. I think in a total of, I don't know, I reworked some sections maybe 3 times. But it was a really quick crochet because of the thickness of the yarns held together. And that is everything I've crocheted kind of in one day, kind of stretching it out and cheating into the next. But I hope you enjoyed watching and seeing me have way too high of expectations for myself once again. But I'm actually really happy with how much I was able to crochet in the amount of time allotted, especially with everything else going on right now in my life. And it felt really good to just get a bunch of projects done at one time. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.